this is going to be the first video in a coming series explaining the emerging gang stalking system. Now, I did take down 2 videos because my counsel had reached out to me. He watched the videos, he liked the videos, but he said, he basically advised me that it could be presented differently, and he made some points. So I'd asked him, I said, well, do you think it would be best if I can just do a series on it and just say everything that I know? And he had said, yes, that would be my best route so that people will understand where you're coming from, what you know, and what the system is. So when I say gang stalking, it is a street term for a program that has been launched in the United States, and I'm going to go into detail on this YouTube channel explaining exactly what the program is. Now, first of all, I don't believe that I walk outside and everyone's harassing me and following me around, okay, because that's just not the truth. All right? So when I talk about gang stalking, I'm not saying that I'm going outside and everyone's stalking me. That's how it sounds, but that's just a street name that was given to it around 2010, 2011 by the targeted individual community. Okay, now I have also posted references. I consider these 2 people who have been working to expose this program. I have posted both of their website podcasts so that way you can listen to the interviews and you can do some deeper research on your own. Okay, so the first video is going to be about Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence and the world's safest city. And if you do not live in the city of Mobile, and this is pretty much worldwide, the same system is used in foreign countries as well, not just in the West. This is a worldwide program, and it is centered around the old principles of COINTELPRO and things like that. So, I live in Mobile, Alabama. Our current mayor is William Sandy Stimson. Whenever he had got elected, he had made the promise that he wanted the world's safest city by 2020. We got to 2020, he didn't have the world's safest city. I'm sorry to see that happen because the city of Mobile has never got up to its fullness and destiny because of public corruption that is deeply embedded in the fabric and has been since the city has been existed, I guess you could say, in its various forms. You know, and people were hoping to see it when the city was reestablished, but the people failed to realize that to get something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. Okay, and then having a bunch of old, never mind, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be nice. Okay, so anyways, William Sandy Stimson was elected. He defeated Sam Jone. For those of you that do not know, I was on Sam Jone's last re-election campaign because I felt that Sam Jone had treated this area a lot better than Mayor Stimson has. But that's not what this video is going to be about. Sandy, Mr. Stimson, was elected, and he had started to bring in professionals to look at law enforcement. James Jimmy Barber was selected as the police chief. He started to institute a new form of policing called community-oriented, intelligence-led policing, and they established the Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence Unit. Okay, and I want to go over the hacking that this unit engages in. Now, first of all, if I address myself, okay, and for those of y'all that know my situation, you know that it's been going on for years, been building up, that there are multiple people now involved in it that basically have the same agenda. But I call myself, and this is a label that I have put on myself, this is not a label that they use for me, a whistleblower over illegal surveillance being conducted by the law enforcement community of Mobile. Okay, I've said some secrets over Facebook in the past. That's why they started attacking me. If you're on the mayor's page in 2018, you see them attack me with a horde of fake profiles. Okay, and I'm going to cover the fake profiles. But I'm going to talk about this system that they put all of their faith in to have the world's safest city by 2020. And again, I wanted to see it. You know, I wish that there was no crime in the streets. You know, I wish that we all got along, but we are all humans. We make mistakes. We have our good days. We have our bad days. Okay, and to anybody that comes along, there's nothing wrong with trying to change the world, but you have to be sensible about it. Okay? They established with the feds the Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence Unit. And what the Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence Unit would do would be various things, you know, such as watching street cameras, monitoring criminals' social media, helping install the Eagle Eye program, and a man by the name of Kevin Levy, who is a distinguished Secret Service agent. He's very good at what he does. He's a very smart man. In their regards, he was probably the best candidate that they could have found. Okay, and this crew came out of Texas too. So, but it doesn't matter where they came from. Okay, they had hired Mr. Levy to run the unit, but what you, the public, was not told was what they would be doing behind the scenes that they wanted kept hush-hush. Now, I remember right after MPD Cyber Intelligence was established, there was a Fox 10 news report, and it had showed a African-American officer, and you know, he's just doing his job, he's putting food on his table, and he was sitting at a computer, and he said that we send agents out in the field, they collect the data, they bring it back, and we keep some things and throw some things out. Essentially what he was saying was that to keep the bad on people and then they throw out the good. Okay, and that's for creating a profile. Okay, and then whenever I go into the system, you're going to understand whenever I'm talking about, whenever I say a target and a profile. Okay, now this is an educational video. Okay, I have no connections to the intelligence community. I do not illegal hack, although I do know a thing or two about cybersecurity. Okay, I do not claim to have any contacts within the department. Okay, so I just want to get that off my chest. I don't want anybody assuming that. But I've been through this, and I've seen things, and I've done a lot of research and investigating into it. Okay, so essentially, they are engaged in hacking underneath the pretext of Homeland Security. I do not know if you will be able to file a Freedom of Information request into this. Okay, so don't be commenting underneath the comment section or, you know, sending me my email, asking me things or seeing me in public because I just don't know. I'm not an attorney, nor do I claim to be one. But I'm pretty sure that there are several defense attorneys on here that will be using this video as reference pretty much later on in case they have to go to a criminal case in the city of Mobile for their defendant. And this is just a general video of educational purposes. But essentially what they do is that they send an agent out, and then this agent is going to be plain clothes. They might be in a car with dark tint, they might not be in a car with dark tint, and they are going to sit near what's called the target's house. And what they are doing is that there is 5 phases to hacking: reconnaissance, scanning the system, gaining access, maintaining access, and covering tracks. The agent is going to come out and is going to sort of hide out of your view, and they are going to hack Wi-Fi. Every house pretty much has Wi-Fi. I actually, even though that I have to use Wi-Fi at my house because it's hard to get data in my house, I would not suggest staying on Wi-Fi, folks. in my honest opinion, I would go back to hardwired internet, DSL, because it's a lot more safer than Wi-Fi. Because whenever you're on Wi-Fi, you have all of these packets that's going back and forth between your smartphone device and between your Wi-Fi router, and in those packets is your information. So if you are on Wi-Fi, use what's called a paid virtual private network, okay, because your DNS stands a bigger chance to leak if you are not using a paid service. Okay, those free ones, some of them are okay, but always use paid. And another thing is, you never know what cyber criminal is hanging out at the coffee shop whenever you're at Starbucks. First thing in the morning, you just woke up, you have to have some coffee. You might not have put your lipstick on. You might not be paying attention, and there's that cyber criminal sitting there with his laptop, hoping to get your credit card details. So the agent is going to come out in what is called the Reconnaissance Phase, and they're going to get your IP address, they're going to get your MAC address, and they are going to essentially install malware on your router, and that is to watch the entrance and the exit nodes. And then they're going to backdoor your phone and put malware on your phone. Okay? By constitutional standards, is it legal? No. But by the Patriot Act standards, is it legal? Yes. Okay, and that's the issue here. Again, I'm not an attorney. I know Aristotle. I know Plato's Republic. I've studied the French Revolution. I understand the Federalist Papers, okay, and I've studied that for quite a long time. My family actually settled Boston, Massachusetts, for those of you that do not know. So, anyways, the agent, and depending on what devices you have and depending on how strong your system is going to depend on how long this agent hangs around. Now, at the start of this, the agent is probably not going to go around your neighborhood slandering you, you know. If he's good, he's going to hide, or she in that case. If they're good, they're going to hide. And essentially, what they want to do, okay, and I will tell you what they can do. They can turn on your camera with malware. They can turn on your microphone with malware. They can track your GPS. Okay? They can get all of your data off the phone, which is what they want. They can gather intelligence, who are your friends. They can record your conversations. Pretty much whoever hacks your phone owns it, not you. So, once the agent is done doing what they need to do, basically putting the monitoring equipment on your Wi-Fi, and then backdooring your phone and putting on the malware, they go, and then everything is sent to the Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence. Okay? And basically, MPD Cyber Intelligence is going to monitor you. Now, this is only if you are a target, okay? And when I say a target, you are not the target of an investigation. You are a target to be surveillanced. Okay? It's called electronic surveillance, okay? And an MPD is going to monitor everything. They are going to look you up on Google. They're going to look you up on the search engines. They're going to gain access to your Facebook. Never ever have conversations or calls over Facebook Messenger. I recommend strongly that you stay off of Facebook, because Facebook is pretty much not good at all. Like, their intentions are not good. Okay, and again, I've been through this. Okay. The next thing that is going to happen is that an agent is going to come out wearing a blue shirt. Okay. And in this case, they may be in a dark tinted out vehicle, they may not be, and they're going to pull up by your house, and they are going to get your data off of your phone. Okay, and they're going to bring it back to Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence. Now, if you become a target of surveillance by our local law enforcement, you are getting what is called a profile built on you. Okay, and they are going to figure out what you do like, what you don't like, what makes you angry. Okay, who are you friends with? Okay, what kind of friends Are you like best friends? Are you like good friends? Are you acquaintances? Okay. Does the person do drugs or alcohol? Okay. If you were going to get a profile made of you, and then all of your good stuff about you is going to be thrown out, and it's only going to be bad things about you. Okay. Now, let me just say this. I have no clue what they do with this profile. Okay. I assume that it is entered into a federal database, and I know for a fact that it can be assessed by other police department agencies. Okay. It will have your picture, and I assume it will have pictures of you, okay, which they will take off of Facebook. Okay, now I want to touch on the Gulf Coast Technology Center. Okay, now, folks, understand me when I tell you this, that we have foreign adversaries, Russia and China in particular, okay, that engage in hacking the United States, just as much as the United States engages in hacking them. Okay, so all of the governments of the world have to have cybersecurity. Okay, you can say the Constitution all day, but what I'm advocating for and whistleblowing on is that there needs to be a way that our judges in this city can file the search warrants for this, because this is a violation of unlawful search and seizure. Okay, and I'm telling you, this is a big secret in Mobile. Okay, there's a reason why they're doing what they're doing to me. Like I said, it's several issues, but the main one is revealing this one right here. And even though I gave you bits and pieces over my social media throughout the years, I'm putting it together on this YouTube page so that I can, in the name of education and journalism, get this out there. Because through the FISA courts, okay, they can keep all of this a secret. Now, I'm not saying that the MPD goes to the FISA court, okay, but I'm just explaining to you underneath the Patriot Act, this quasi-secret government that's been set up underneath the name of national security. Okay, what I would like to see is that they have to have a warrant from a judge, either federal judge Miss DuBose, or if they create a new court that deals in this. And the reason is so that way the public and the news media can file freedom of information requests, and it can be documented why the law enforcement have went after this person. Basically, I don't want it to be used for digging up political dirt. Okay, are being used by evil people in the future to persecute people or someone. Okay, so if you are getting gang stalked or in the gang stalking program, and it is not people being paid by some rich person to do it, to make you go off to get a reaction, and it is actually the government doing it to you, all of your devices have been hacked. Okay, you are under 24-hour surveillance. They are logging where you go on your GPS, because the second that you leave that place, they're going to send an agent in there to lie about you, pretty much, but that's not for this video. Okay, so let's recap over Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence, and then we will wrap up the world's safest city. Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence handles the hacking. They also watch the cameras on the streets. They also run the Eagle Eye program. Okay? Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence handles the analyzing of the data that is recovered from the field, from the target's smart devices, on behalf of the guys that wear the blue shirts that work for Mobile Police Department Intelligence Unit. Okay? Now, the world's safest city. Sandy Stimson was so confident that he would have the world's safest city through this system. Okay? That they would be able to prevent crime before it happened by hacking people's phones. Okay? And that's just the truth. Okay? And there were other elements. Okay? Community-oriented and intelligence-led policing, intelligence-led is hacking. The community-oriented is Neighborhood Watch, community organization. Okay, that they thought that they had this system that they would be able to employ that would bring about the world's safest city. Okay, now the Gulf Coast Technology Center, I know that I touched on it, but now I'm going to say what I had wanted to say about it. I do not have a lot of information about the Gulf Coast Technology Center because we're not even allowed to know where it's at. Now, the argument could be made, well, it was built with taxpayers' money. I speculate it was built with taxpayers' money, but if the feds are over it, then they could cite, well, you know, we're using taxpayers' money for all across the country from this. I assume and speculate that it is going to be a fusion center, okay? And it's like I said, we have to have certain types of departments to counter our foreign adversaries that are trying to hack our emails and that they're trying to gather dirt to use against us during elections to leak to the media. Okay, we have to have these institutions, okay, for them to analyze hacked emails, hacked devices, you know, because what if somebody comes and puts WannaCry ransomware on your system and nobody knows how to run the forensics on it and figure out who did it, to find out if it's local or if it's foreign. So that is what the Gulf Coast Technology Center does. Mobile Police Department Cyber Intelligence handles the electronic spying on the citizens. The Gulf Coast Technology Center handles, and not only for Mobile, for pretty much all of us along the coast, they basically handle training up officers and doing forensics on technology that may have been hacked. And I assume it is going to be a fusion center. What is a fusion center? That is where they fuse data together, and if you are in the Gang Stalking Program, you already know that the fusion center coordinates the gang stalking. Again, gang stalking, we're talking about a street term for this program centered around a revenge list, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what gang stalking is. It is a revenge list for whistleblowers. It is a revenge list for people that cause trouble in politics. It is a revenge list. Okay, there are dangerous people on this list. Okay, and then there are innocent people on this list because it's not vetted. Okay, so I will confirm to you that whenever we talk about the gang stalking program, okay, that you are on a list, okay, that every law enforcement agency can see everybody's name on this list, okay? And it is a revenge list, okay? So if you get into it with, let's say that you have a car accident, okay, with somebody in the government, and you sue them, and the next thing you know, you start getting gang stalked, they put you on the list, okay? So, and then here's the thing about it. It may not even be your law enforcement agency because there are shell companies that have access to the list. Your colleges have access to the list. The airports have access to the list. Okay, private security firms, some of them have access to the list. So essentially, okay, the people who have access to the list can do the gang stalking. Now, I was lucky to catch these people at the start. I was blessed by God to catch these people at the start. So it was easy for me to trace it, and then, of course, in the way in which I investigate, trace it back to who it was right at the start. So I knew who it was doing all this crap, so I was able to set up a counter-surveillance campaign and start gathering evidence, which at that time I started treating it as a crime that was being committed against me. So I've been gathering evidence for about, it really got bad. Well, it really started whenever I got into it with the police chief's wife on Get Rid of Fred Richardson, and which I was using Get Rid of Fred Richardson to try to shut down the left-wing communist protesters that were trying to burn down our town over a police-involved shooting. And I was on there to stop the passing of the Citizens Police Advisory Committee, which the communists were hoping to hijack in the future, to get reports and then use those reports against the police to put their mucks in power. So, put their mucks over the police department. And that actually came out of a liberal girl's mouth behind the scenes to me. So, but anyways, and then I was using that group to try to stop CPAC and counter the left-wing agitators that were causing trouble in the city. And I got into it with the police chief's wife, and then MPD's tone had started to change with me and things like that. Now, I've never been a Mobile Police Department officer. I've known like 4 people that's worked for MPD and stuff. But essentially, and no, they did not leak me any of this information. Okay, this is years of me doing research, studying the Fox 10 report, and going through it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope that this gives an understanding. This is going to be video 1 of Mobile, Alabama Gang Stalking, the Gang Stalking Program that is used by the law enforcement community and the others that are involved in it. We're talking about the fire department is pretty much involved in it. The religious groups are pretty much involved in it with the police department. And wait for my other videos before you assume or draw conclusions, because I want to lay the entire program out for everybody that comes and views my channel so that you will understand exactly what we say whenever we say gang stalking. Again, I don't believe, okay, I don't go out in public and say, oh, this person's following me, okay, because that's what they want you to do. Do you understand? I don't believe that every house that drives by, every car that drives by my house is up to no good, okay? You know, I'm actually a happy-go-lucky person, but like I said, when we say gang stalking, okay, we're not talking about gangs following us. We're not talking about thousands of cars following us. What we're talking about is that this is a specific program that is used underneath intelligence-led and community-oriented policing and neighborhood watch. Okay? It is the street name of the program. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Now, I will never ask for money. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not doing this to make a name for myself. I'm doing this because I view this as a grievous breach to the illegal search and seizure clause of the Constitution. As many of you know from the Edward Snowden revelations, that we live in a surveillance state, okay, that we have pretty much dang near lost all of our privacy. And I hope that this video gets you more privacy geared in thinking, and that it wakes you up to the fact of where we're headed if it's not addressed and if there are not reforms brought to how we gather intelligence.